What's going on, guys? New York Sports Up here, coming at you with another New York Giants video. Now, the Giants beat the Cincinnati Bengals earlier today. That was obviously a big win. Giants are in first place. They move up to 4-7 on the season, and we are winning this absolute dumpster fire of a division by one game, by a half game over the Philadelphia Eagles, and obviously we're tied with the Washington for the same record, but again, we have the advantage because we beat them twice earlier in the season. So we are in first place currently in the NFC East, but there was a negative to take out of the Giants game against the Cincinnati Bengals, and that was Daniel Jones leaving the game with a hamstring injury. Now, this is coming from Jordan Renan, an NFL reporter on Twitter that came out and tweeted that Daniel Jones' hamstring injury seems to be pretty bad and that he could miss some time with an injury. Now, I don't know how long some time is. I don't know if it means the whole season. I doubt that, but it could mean he could miss a couple games, and that very well could hurt this team's chances of winning this division. And, Daniel Jones has been, the Giants, the past 3 games they have won. Daniel Jones has played great the past 3 games. He has not turned the ball over since the game against the Bucs. He's played extremely well, even though we haven't played great opponents. We played Washington, Philadelphia, and Cincinnati, 3 very bad football teams. But again, Daniel Jones has played really, really well ever since that Bucs game where he pretty much lost us the game with 2 costly interceptions. Daniel Jones has played great ever since, and, was playing very well the first, 2 quarters of the season, of the game today. And then in the third quarter, obviously had that injury. He tried to come out and play again. It aggravated, and then he had to leave the game and did not play for the rest of the game. Colt McCoy came in, did just enough to win us a game, but again, we're playing a garbage team in the Cincinnati Bengals. So, it's really not that impressive for Colt McCoy to give the Giants the win. But anyway, this defense can't do that much. Especially against a team like the Seahawks, teams like the Cardinals, the Browns, the Ravens. When you play teams like the Bengals, okay, but when you're playing Super Bowl contenders like the Seahawks, and the Browns and the Ravens, teams like those, I don't know who really the Ravens are, but, Seahawks and the Browns are 8-3. I think the Seahawks, what are they, 7-3? Those are really, really good football teams, and we can't beat teams like that. If your defense pretty much carries the team, you could do that against teams like the Bengals, but you're not going to be able to do that against teams like the Cardinals, Browns, Ravens, Seahawks. We're entering the toughest part of our schedule, and the last thing that we need is our quarterback that's been playing great the past 3 games. The last thing we need is him to not play. So let's hope this isn't as serious. Even if he does miss time, I still think the Giants have a chance to win this division because if you look at Washington's schedule, they play the Steelers next week. The Eagles play the Seahawks tomorrow night. Then they play the Packers next week at Lambeau Field. The Packers have one of the best teams in the NFC, and I think they play the Saints after that. The Eagles have a brutal schedule. I don't see them winning any games. I don't see Washington winning their next 3 games. Maybe if the Giants can find a way to pull off 1 out of the next 3. And, beat Dallas Week 17 with Daniel Jones possibly playing, as he probably will be. Unless it's a season-ending injury, he should be able to play against Dallas. 6 wins could be enough to win this division because Dallas isn't going anywhere. They might just tank at this point. The Eagles aren't going anywhere. Washington could, but again, they have a really tough schedule. The Giants do too, but again, they have games they can win. I think the Giants do have the best defense in this division. I think this defense could carry us to maybe 1 win out of the next 3 or 4 games against very good teams, but we'll see we'll see what happens. But again, if we lose to Seattle, if Daniel Jones misses 1 week, we lose to Seattle. I didn't expect the Giants to win that game coming in, even if Daniel Jones did play. I didn't expect the Giants to beat the Seahawks. They were in Seattle, one of the toughest places to play in football. I didn't expect the Giants to win that game. 4-8 could win this division, which is it's sad to say, but again, the Giants could be winning the division with a 4-8 record. The Washington schedule isn't so easy either. And it's not like Alex Smith is, somehow a great quarterback. He's not. He's not better. He's better than Colt McCoy, but again, how much better is he, compared to guys like Colt McCoy, and whoever our 3rd-string quarterback is, So, this Giants team, even if Daniel Jones does miss, let's say 2 weeks, they can still win the division because I think 6 wins is enough to win this division. If they can find a way to steal maybe 1 out of the next 4 games and then beat Dallas Week 17 as they should, I think a 6-10 record should be enough to win this division. So I'm not going to expect a lot from the Giants next week. I'm not expecting them to win against the Seahawks. I'm not expecting them to win against the Cardinals because even if Daniel Jones was our quarterback, I still don't think we're good enough to beat those kind of teams because they are very, very good football teams. So I think if Daniel Jones there, maybe it would be closer because Colt McCoy. Let's be honest, he's not a very good quarterback at all. The Giants could, have a chance to win the game, but I still think they wouldn't be able to. The Seahawks have a ton of weapons on offense. Metcalf and Lockett, I think they'll be too much for our defense. I don't really see us winning next week, even if Daniel Jones was our quarterback. So, I don't know. First off, let's see how severe the injury is. We're not going to know until tomorrow. He's going to have to, get it looked at by doctors. So, we don't know yet how bad the injury is. But it's coming. Jordan Renan came out on Twitter, posted that the injury looks pretty bad and that he could miss a decent amount of time for the Giants. But if he does, I still think the New York Giants have a good chance of winning the NFC East if the Eagles do lose to Seattle tomorrow. I'm guessing they will. If the Eagles do lose tomorrow, the Giants, even if Daniel Jones does miss time, I still think the Giants have a chance to win the NFC East. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Daniel Jones injury. Don't give up on, don't say, oh, his season's over. Don't say, oh, we're not going to make the playoffs. I wouldn't say that just yet, because if you look at our opponent's team's schedule, it's almost just as brutal as ours. I mean, they have really tough schedules, So I wouldn't say, if Daniel Jones does end up missing maybe a couple weeks, I wouldn't say the Giants aren't winning this division, because it's just not true. They can still win this division if Daniel Jones does miss a couple weeks. It's just facts. 6 wins should be enough to win this division, and I don't really see any other team in this division. Maybe besides Washington, I don't really see any other team in this division winning 6 games, especially if the Eagles lose to the Seahawks tomorrow. I don't see any other team in this division winning 6. And if Daniel Jones does happen to miss a couple weeks, we still have a chance to win this division. If he misses the whole season, then I'd say, then no, I don't think they will. But if he misses maybe 2 weeks or, maybe a week, the Giants will still have a good chance of winning this division, because 6 games should be enough to win it. All right, guys? So that's going to do it for this one. How bad do you think Daniel Jones' injury is? Let's hope he doesn't have to miss any time, although that looks like it's unlikely. But again, how long do you think Daniel Jones will be out? How do you think it'll be this, a season-ending injury? I don't think that. I think that's a little bit, I don't think that's going to happen. I think if you think he's not going to miss any time, I think that's wishful thinking. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen with Daniel Jones? And if he does miss time, I still think this Giants team can win the division, even if Daniel Jones does miss time. All right, guys? So that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Talk to you guys next time. Let's go Giants. And by the way, before I end the video, I will have the green screen. I will be using the green screen very soon. I still haven't, actually, my stand where I used to film my videos actually broke, so I actually can't really film my videos using the green screen now. So unless I, did it with my hand, but I feel like that wouldn't look good. So I can't really use the green screen right now. It's probably going to be a little bit until I start using the green screen again, but make sure, I'm going to start using it again, so make sure, don't act like I'm going to be filming against this wall for the rest of the channel, all right? So that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Talk to you guys next time. Let's go Giants.